For the first time in 2026, the entire Pittsburgh Pirates organization played a game today. Welcome to Bucks on Deck podcast. It's our morning rundown. Pirates win in Houston. Before we get to the Pirates game, I want to do a quick rundown of the minor league organization. Just like I said, with the Dominican Summer League starting on Monday, Tuesday with the rest of the full season affiliates starting, and with the Pirates having a day off on Monday. Tuesday was actually the first time this season that every single affiliate played. So, plenty to get down and cover. Starting off in AAA, the Indianapolis Indians, they're on the road facing the St. Paul Saints. They lost 7-6. Davis Wenzel, 2 for 4, 4 RBIs. It was a grand slam, his 8th home run of the season. Also hit a double. He's having a pretty good year for the Indians right now. Tamar Johnson, 1 for 5, but hit his 2nd home run in the season. 2nd home run in a couple days because his first home run he hit on Saturday. So maybe we're starting to see a little bit, maybe starting to get a little things cooking here. Hunter Barco had a really good start last week, struggled this week, struggled mainly with the long balls. Gave up 2 home runs, which ended up in 6 earned on 7 hits, 2 walks with 5 strikeouts over 5 innings pitched. His last outing brought his ERA under 2. This outing jumped it back up over 4. Heading down to AA, they are facing New Hampshire on the road as well. They win, come from behind win, score 6 runs in the 9th inning. Lonnie White, 2 for 5, 2 doubles, an RBI, stolen base, run scored. He's a guy that I mentioned in my monthly prospect breakdown as someone who's kind of probably seen his stock rise a little bit. I'll go more in depth on him at some point eventually. But Kellen Moss, 2 for 4, 2 doubles of his own, and RBI. Derek Berg, who had a good month last month, 2 for 4, a double, 2 RBIs. Connor Wietgrefe didn't start, had Emmanuel Chapman open in front of him, but Wietgrefe handled the bulk of the innings. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Drops his ERA down to 4.81. Been a rough season for Wietgrefe. You know, he's not a high stuff guy, so the stuff's been hit a little bit harder than expected. And this easily one of the better outings I've seen from him this year. Shifting to High A, who's also on the road. It looks like everyone's on the road this week. It looks like they're in Asheville, which Asheville, like if you think Greensboro is a bandbox, then you're in for a rude awakening this week because Asheville is like Greensboro on steroids. Greensboro loses 8-4. Yordani De Los Santos, 2 for 4, double, 2 RBI, a walk, and a stolen base. Connor Oliver, 4 innings pitch, 2 hits, an unearned run, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Shalene Polanco hit his 6th home run of the season in the late in the game. Bradenton, they're in Jupiter this week. They lost 6-4. The game was called after 6 innings due to lightning and rain and whatnot. Richard Ramirez, 1 for 2 with a walk, his 2nd home run of the season. Hyun-Sung Lee, who's up from the Complex League, it looks like for good this time, or at least he's going to get some sort of an extended look here. It doesn't appear to be one of the weakened things that they had been doing with some of the other Complex kids. He goes 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI, and a strikeout. Jack Anchor, really good start to this season. Well, he was starting to settle in a little bit. Now he's kind of been hit the last couple of years. His first 2 home runs he allowed on the entire season. He allowed 9 hits, 5 earned run, 2 walks, striking out 4 over 3 1/3. Going down to the complex. The complex game was weird. It looks like they fixed it, but at first it was registering that it was an exhibition game, so none of the stats were counting. It looks like they've adjusted that now because, like, you know, the numbers are updated and whatnot. Yohan De Los Santos, 1 for 3, run scored, 2 stolen bases. Raymond Mola, his first home run of the season, 1 for 2 with a walk. Daryl Morrell, he 0 for 3 but had an RBI. Now going down to the Dominican, the Pirates have 2 teams there. Obviously, the DSL Gold team lost 7-4 to the Orioles. Wilton Guerrero Jr. 2 games in, it's off to a pretty good start. Has 3 hits and 8 at bats. Has a double, couple stolen bases. Stole a base on Tuesday. 2 runs scored. Hanley Ramirez, not that Hanley Ramirez, pinch hit RBI triple. Marlon Quintana got to start. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And then finally the DSL Pirates black team. They played one of the Diamondbacks team. They lost 4-3. Yohendris Santos, one of the guys, one of the more higher profile signings on the international side this year, went 1 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. But now shifting to the major league side, Pirates. Bubba Chandler got to start. Wasn't a great start to the game. Put some fastballs in some places to where they shouldn't be left. Yordan Alvarez made him pay for it. Defense wasn't great around him. One of the runs he allowed ended up being unearned. But I mean, it's not pretty, but he made it through 5 innings, and thanks to the timely O'Neal Cruz home run, finds himself with the second win of the season. I mean, it's not pretty. It hasn't been pretty, but you kind of see the path there. You kind of see the improvement. He's just got to throw more strikes. The strike throwing doesn't feel like it. It's like if he's having to dial it back a lot, and you see like the strikeout number starting to go down for him to get the walks down, and that's obviously not the kind of pitcher that he's not pitching at his best if he's not, striking out a lot of guys. But you got to kind of do what you got to kind of do to get through an outing, and it's rough. It's not pretty. It looks good, but you kind of just he kind of just gets there, and things could have obviously spiraled a lot worse, and he was kind of bailed out by the offense tonight. But he's young. He's going to work on some things. Clearly, the Pirates are going to give him every opportunity to do it in the majors. And the only thing he can do at this point is kind of just try to build on it. He'll get another start this week. The next one will be in Atlanta against the Braves, or if they keep on the same schedule. Brandon Lau hit his 15th home run of the season. O'Neal Cruz, 14th home run of the season. Like I said, it was a 3-run home run. Pirates were down 4-2 at that point. Offense kind of poured it on. Andy Rodriguez, a couple hits, a double, a home run. OPS over 900 right now. I mean, it's not a big sample size, but like the Pirates needed something. They need some form of offense out of that catching position. They don't need a lot of offense. They don't need a catcher with the 900 OPS. They have plenty of other people in that lineup that can provide that kind of offense. They just need something better than what they are getting from Henry Davis and Joey Bart. And he's definitely pushing to create that difficult dialogue that might need to be had once Joey Bart's back and ready. But I think the main thing I wanted to talk about here, or at least the thing that I wanted to close out on, was Dennis Santana. Dennis Santana was probably one of the better finds that Ben Cherington had, at least when it came to like plucking guys off the waiver wire. That always feels like a good test when it came to general managers. How can they put the bullpen together, and what kind of, everyone's going to have to do some sort of like dumpster diving or waiver wire claim and kind of reclamation project, build someone up and kind of work with it. And Santana was kind of the guy. Santana was so much of that guy that they felt comfortable enough keeping him and trading David Bednar to the Yankees. And this year, it's not been pretty. 5.47 ERA. May he had a 7.45 ERA with over 9 2/3 innings. It's just he's been relegated to mop up duty, and even like the mop up duties, like they had to burn Gregory Soto instead of having him have a day off, an extra day off, and save him for later in the series. Now there's a chance that the Pirates go out here and win, game 2, that he's unavailable for game 3 when you're trying to go for a sweep. I don't know what you do at this point. I know a lot of people in the comment sections just like, DFA him at this point. Personally, like I think you kind of do the sit down and be like, hey, I think your arm's a little tired, wink wink kind of thing, and slap him on the IL a little bit. You bring Isaac Mattson back up. And then I think at that point, if you let him, sit for those 10 days to try to get things together, and he comes back out and it's more of the same, then you kind of have that conversation with him. But yeah, it's definitely something, because like even if he's making these mop-up games kind of closer than they need to be, and you're having to burn your closer or your best reliever, then something's got to be done. I mean, you're already kind of seeing like Yohan Ramirez kind of taking that step back. You just can't have too many of these guys here. You just traded Justin Lawrence, who was another guy who was struggling, and I think you got to start looking at Yohan and Santana, and Yohan Ramirez and Dennis Santana is like the next 2 guys that are potentially on the way out. I think there's a case to be made that you do the old phantom IL thing to give that a shot, but you have to do something at this point, because it's just not working. Let him sit, let him reset, and then you kind of go from there. That's the final kind of step that you take. Looking ahead, Paul Skeens on the mound for Wednesday. He'll get a chance to clinch the series here. Bigger picture, like site wise, I'll have something on the complex kids, namely the ones who were part of that 2025 class. I'll talk a little bit more about that on tomorrow's episode. I know I've kind of stopped and started on these a lot, but I'd like to kind of get this consistently going, give you guys a different way of kind of intaking the morning rundown, giving you kind of a breakdown of everything that's going on. I'll do some other more like specific episodes and stuff like that, tie it in with some of the features and stuff. I have some plans. It's just a matter of kind of getting them in motion. But thanks for tuning in. If you're listening to this with the podcast, make sure you go check on Bucks on Deck Substack, daily contact in the Pirates organization. Yeah. Tune in tomorrow, another episode. Until then, everyone have a good one.